at John 23rd College, and you know how hard year one can be, walking into a classroom full of 6-year-olds looking at you with their judgmental eyes, you know, and you're just seeing how well you've organised your itty-bitty bin, or comparing each other's contact paper. You have to figure out if you're going to sit next to the people who are still sucking their thumbs in their classrooms, like wait till you get home, like I did. Or if you're going to sit next to the people who have the cool pencils that if you colour in and they change colour. Hello, Jess Wayman, remember that? Oh, yes. Anyway, it was all very political, but Eleanor and I didn't have to worry about that because our parents already knew each other. So our friendship was pretty much exactly the same as an arranged marriage, minus the ceremony. But there may as well have been a ceremony because we were absolutely inseparable at school. We were little tomboys. We absolutely loved each other, and we took sports carnivals really seriously. We were the only girls ever invited to boys' parties up until about year 6, I think, and we weren't too happy when other girls started getting the gig. Being best friends with Eleanor throughout school, we obviously got to learn so much about each other, and the one thing that I mostly admire about Eleanor still to this day is that if she wants something, she'll do anything to get it. She's very focused and she's very smart. And I'll never forget, I invited Eleanor over for our very first sleepover. And Mum had promised Eleanor and I Hungry Jacks for dinner, which was a massive treat. But I think just quietly, Mum and Dad were getting on the piss, that's why they couldn't bother. So, if you remember back then, Hungry Jacks, absolute rarity. Little did we know we'd end up eating it for the rest of our lives after a dirty night at Clubber. Anyway, Eleanor and I were playing outside, mucking around like we did, and until dinner, and then we came in, and dinner was ready, and Eleanor ate her Hungry Jacks, wiped them out, and then just looked up at Mum and said, "Julie, do you think I can go home now? I don't feel like spending the night." That wasn't part of the deal. She was very smart. She got what she wanted. She was all smiles up until dinner. Let me believe that she was having the time of her life. And then once she devoured her WAAPA combo with cheese upgraded with a thick shake, please. Dipping the chips in the thick shake. She broke the news that she didn't want to spend the night after all, so well played. However, aside from that, Eleanor did prove to be my most valuable friend, and I was never too good at maths, and I'm still not. I mean, I don't really know what that is.
2 plus 2?
4. Anyway, Eleanor, being the good friend she is, noticed that I wasn't too good at maths. And in year 2, she told me that I could look at her answers in our maths test if I gave her my Tim Tam for recess.
Bribery.
I think it was the only 10 out of 10 I ever got in my whole school life. I probably deserved my other Tim Tam as well, but a girl's got to eat, you know. After all the cheating. But she taught me a very valuable lesson. She taught me how to cheat when I was 7 years old. All I had to do was just trade my recess, and hello, I took that advice on board and I've got a degree. Anyway, years went on, many good times were had in primary school, and year 7 came. Year 7 was going to be a heavy year. Eleanor and I were both in the same house faction, and we both wanted to run for house captain. And anyway, Eleanor and I we were clearly going to be the only 2 girls. It was either going to be me or Eleanor to get house captain. The other girls didn't really stand a chance. The poor things, yeah. Anyway, so Eleanor and I made a deal that we wouldn't bribe any of the younger years to vote for us. We would purely leave it up to them to vote for us. After our speech, it would be purely left up to our speeches. Anyway, speeches were done, we were standing up, and the principal announced that for the first time ever, Year 4s will not be voting this year for house captain. So can all Year 4s please get up and leave? And Eleanor's eyes just widen. And she leans over to me and goes, "There goes 5 of my vote." That was not part of the deal. But at least she's honest, you've got to give it to her. And as I said, Eleanor, if she wants something, she'll do anything to get it. Unfortunately, it didn't pay off. I got house captain. I learned about Eleanor is that she's really bad at knowing what to say in awkward situations. And oh gosh, is so bad that she tends to say really inappropriate things. It's really awkward. I'll never forget in year 9, and Eleanor and I became quite besotted with our PE teacher, Miss Hayes. We loved her; she was so funny, and we went to Miss Hayes' office like every single day after school. Miss Hayes had just recently got engaged, so we used to go and say, oh, we want to be bridesmaids at your wedding, and we want to go to your wedding, and we're going to say a speech, and we're probably really annoying, but we thought we were hilarious, and she actually found us quite entertaining as well. Anyway, this one particular afternoon, we went to Miss Hayes' office, and Miss Hayes was crying. So Eleanor and I kind of looked at each other, and we were a little bit like, oh my God, what do we do? And so I just said, oh, what's wrong? She said, oh, my grandma's just died. And I said, as any normal person says, I said, oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. Now, when I didn't immediately hear Eleanor say, I'm really sorry to hear that too, straight after me, I was nervous. I was like, oh, what's she doing? I looked over at Eleanor. She's got a half smile on her face. Oh, that's not funny, that's not funny. That's not funny. Apparently it is. So I look at her, and Eleanor just goes, so I guess there's a spare seat at the wedding. But believe it or not, Miss Hayes absolutely cracked up. She thought it was hilarious, and so did I. And I think at the end of the day, that's what Eleanor's best at. She's best at just making people laugh, whether it's inappropriate or not. And that's why Eleanor and I have always been best of friends, because we've always enjoyed each other's humour. And she's the most independent person I know, and I really look up to her for that. She doesn't care what anyone thinks of her, and she's the least judgmental person in the world. She just appreciates everyone for who they are, and I think that's a really rare quality to have. Even though we have drifted apart after high school, as friends tend to do, you're still obviously one of my closest friends, and it's really evident because even on the rare occasions that we do catch up, we just basically pick up from where we've left off. It's almost as if we've never, been apart. So just a toast to Eleanor. Yeah. Have an awesome 21st. You're an amazing person. Don't change for anyone. Have a good day.